Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Sunil Dutt, working as an assistant professor of physics at the Department of Science and Technology of Faculty of Education and Methodology at Jayati Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Topic of my presentation or the topic of the session is diffraction grating and resolving power of grating. So, to understand this topic, first you should go through the session where I have discussed about the phenomena of diffraction and diffraction due to single slit, double slit, and n slit. So if you have that idea in your mind, so it will be easy to understand this topic. So first I will start with the topic diffraction grating. So you should know what is diffraction grating. So basically a diffraction grating is an arrangement consisting of a large number of close, parallel, straight, transparent and equidistant slits, each of equal width small e, with neighboring slits being separated by an opaque region of width d. So there are about 15,000 lines per inch in such a grating to produce a diffraction of visible light. So you know the wavelength of visible light, which is around 4,000 to 7,000 angstrom. So you can say the spacing between two adjacent slits is E plus D. Okay, so where E is the width of the slit and D is the separation between two slits. So this element, which is E plus D, is known as the diffraction element or the grating element. So if you want to have a real picture of diffraction grating, then you can check it online. However, if you want to make a schematic diagram, it appears as I have shown over here. So this is the separation between the two slits, and this is the width of the opening. So this, if we denote this one by E, and this spacing is capital D, so the distance from here to here will be known as the grating element, or we will denote it by E plus D. Okay. So this is the way where by which we can uh, explain the phenomena of diffraction grating. And if you want to have a real look of the diffraction grating element, which is also present in our lab, so this is the picture, real picture of the diffraction grating element. Okay, so usually the width of this grating element become around 2.54 centimeter, or you can say 1 inch, and there are 15,000 spectral lines which are not visible with the naked eye, but if you see with the help of a magnifying lens, you can observe them. Okay. So this is grating element. So whenever you are having grating element, there are certain properties of each such type of uh, element. So one topic is the dispersive power of grating. So what is the dispersive power? The dispersive power of a diffraction grating element is defined as the rate of change of the diffraction angle with the wavelength. So it is expressed numerically as d theta upon d lambda. So we have already studied about the expression for grating, so which is E plus d sin theta is equal to n lambda. If we differentiate uh, this expression with respect to lambda, we will get E plus d cos theta into d theta upon d lambda equal to n. Okay. Or if we rearrange this equation, we can write d theta upon d lambda will be equal to n upon E plus d cos theta. So this relation is known as the dispersive power of the grating element. If you know these value of lambda, theta, E and D, you can, and the number of order of the spectrum, we can easily calculate the dispersive power of a grating element. Okay. So the next topic is resolving power of a diffraction grating. So the resolving power of a diffraction grating is defined as the ratio of wavelength lambda of any spectral line to the resultant to the smallest difference of two wavelengths d lambda. So for which the spectral lines can be resolved at the wavelength lambda. So the resulting power of a grating will be equal to lambda upon d lambda. Okay. So means, uh, we will discuss it with the help of a diagram, but before that we want to obtain an expression for the resultant power. So as I shown you in the previous figure, so let us consider a plane diffraction grating is illuminated normally by parallel beam of light of two nearby wavelengths, uh, which we call as lambda and lambda plus d lambda. Okay. So the light of each wavelength would form a separate diffraction pattern of the slit at points P1 and P2, which we have shown in the figure. So the spectral lines just resolve if they satisfy the Rayleigh's criterion, that is the direction of nth principal maxima for wavelength lambda is given by E plus D sin theta is equal to n lambda. Okay. So if there are capital N number of spectral lines in the element, so we can write capital N into E plus D sin theta will be equal to capital N times small n lambda. Okay, so this we denote as equation number 1. So where n is the total number of lines on the grating surface and E plus D is grating element. So for the position, for the direction of the first minima, which we will be given by theta plus d theta, we can write n times E plus D sine of theta plus d theta will be equal to small m lambda. Okay. So for uh, except for the values of m will be equal to 0 comma capital M comma 2n and so on. Or we can write capital N times E plus D sine theta plus d theta will be equal to small n into capital N plus 1 times n lambda, where small m is equal to small n into capital N plus 1. So the principal maxima due to wavelength lambda plus 3 lambda in the direction theta plus d theta will be given by d plus d sin theta plus d theta equal to n times lambda plus d lambda. Okay. So, or we can write for n number of elements, capital N times E plus D sin theta plus D theta is equal to capital N times small n into lambda plus D lambda. This we denote as equation number 3. So on comparing with equations 2 and 3, we observe that capital N into small n plus 1 into lambda is equal to capital N into n inside bracket lambda plus 3 lambda. If we solve this for, means we rearrange the items, so we can write lambda will be equal to capital N into small n times lambda plus d lambda, or we can simply write lambda is equal to capital N times small n d lambda. And we know from the definition of resolving power that lambda upon d lambda will be equal to small n into capital N. Okay. So thus the resolving power of a grating is equal to the product of the order of the spectrum and the total number of lines ruled on the grating. Okay. So if we want to get to have another form of for this relation, from equation 1 we can obtain the value of small n. So the value of small n will be equal to E plus D sin theta upon lambda. So in other words, we can also write down this expression as resolving power of a grating, which is given by lambda upon d lambda will be equal to small n into capital N will be equal to capital N times E plus D sin theta upon lambda. Okay. So in this way, if we have the values of theta, lambda, and capital N, and the grating element E plus T, we can easily determine the resolving power of a grating element. Okay. So uh, if you want to get the resolving power of an optical instrument, so the resolving power of an optical instrument is its ability to separate images of two nearby objects which are placed close to each other. If it can resolve between those, so this property is called the resolving power. If the instrument can individually identify the position of two peaks. Okay. So this we can clarify with the help of the diagrams which I have shown over here, and we will discuss these. And the name of this topic will be resolving power of grating, or you can say the Rayleigh's criteria of resolution. So, according to Rayleigh, the 2-point sources on two equally intense spectral lines are just resolved by an optical instrument when the central maximum of the diffraction pattern due to one source falls exactly on the first minimum of the diffraction pattern of the other, or vice versa. Okay. So, here I would like to show you this figure. So in this figure, I have plotted three graphs. So this I have named as graph number one, this one as two, and this one as three. So we will discuss these graphs one by one. So let us first we focus on graph number one. Okay. So in graph number one, d lambda is sufficiently large to separate the central maxima due to both wavelengths and the two spectral lines. Okay, this you can zoom it over here so you can clearly see these figures. Okay. So d lambda is sufficiently large to separate the central maximum due to both wavelengths, and the two spectral lines are distinctly resolved. Okay, so for this we have good resolving power of the instrument. Okay, so if we go to the figure number two, so when d lambda is such that the principal maxima of one source is coincide with the first minima of the other and vice versa, then the curve shows a distinct dip in the middle having limiting value of d lambda. So as from the figure you can see over here. So from here you can in place of two you will see only a single peak. Okay, so these two peaks are will be called as just resolved. But in figure number three, you can see that in case of figure three, if the wavelength difference is smaller than the limiting value, then the two principal maxima show considerable overlapping. As shown in figure 3, the resultant intensity curve indicates no dip and appears as if it is a diffraction pattern of only one spectral line. Hence, under this condition, the two spectral lines are not resolved. Okay. So, under this condition, the two spectral lines are not resolved. Therefore, since we know that I is equal to I maximum times sine square x upon x, or I am at maximum value will be equal to I max sine square pi by 2 upon pi by 2 2 whole square, or we can simply write 8 upon pi square I max. So the ratio of I mid upon I max will be equal to 8 upon pi square. So thus Rayleigh criteria may also be stated that the two equally intense spectral lines are just resolved if the intensity at the tip in the middle is 8 upon pi square times the intensity at either of the maxima. So, so this is all about the diffraction grating, the resolving power of a diffraction grating, and Rayleigh's criteria of resolution. Okay. So, this experiment is also a part of laboratory in the course of BSc optics. So, if you understand basically the phenomena of diffraction and two more points, which is diffraction due to a single slit and diffraction due to double slit. So if we have a good understanding of those points, then we can also easily go through this topic, and this topic means this topic will also help you to understand why light is converted into different spectral lines when it passes through a grating element or some structures which behaves like grating element in our day-to-day life. Okay. So in various competitive exams, you can also get some numericals based on this topic. And there is one more instrument which is analogous to this setup, which is known as the prism. So from prism also we get the different range of wavelength. Means if you incident white light on a prism, it will also be converted into very beautiful spectrum, a very beautiful rainbow of different colors. So that type of rainbow can also be obtained with the help of this diffraction grating element. Okay. So I hope this is sufficient for this session, and we will move forward in our next lecture. In that lecture, we will be discussing about diffraction grating, the phenomena of diffraction from NCS. Okay, thank you.